Hi guys, welcome back to the Drive Life channel. In today's video, we're going to be giving you a 6-month update on my E39 5 Series. Now, it's hard to believe that I have had this car for 6 months. I bought it on the 2nd of January 2024, so it was a new year, new car. And it has been nothing short of fantastic. I bought this car originally because Mrs. D and I adopted a golden retriever, and having 2 dogs on the back seat of the Volvo just wasn't a safe bet. I wanted something a little different, just to explore really the automotive world. Now, I'm also a big BMW fan. I've had BMWs before. My parents have always had BMWs, but I didn't want a new one. I don't like new cars at all. I've sort of made a pledge to myself that each time I buy a different car, it'll be older than the last one. And that's why I sort of started with the E39. So this is the 2003, obviously, with my private number plate on it. And like I said, it's been nothing short of fantastic. It's a 525D, which means it's a slightly smaller engine compared to the 530D. Well, it's not actually any smaller. The block is exactly the same. What they've done is they've reduced the stroke, which actually means it revs much like a petrol engine compared to the 3-litre version. So because the pistons have a shorter stroke, it means that it revs more quickly. So it's less diesel feeling than a lot of diesels I've ever had before. And it drives absolutely spot on. Now, the thing that particularly caught my eye about this car was the lovely interior. We've got Orient Blue, or just the spec in general really, Orient Blue on sand beige leather, with the burr walnut inserts. We've also got the full sat-nav system with the dynamic sound profiling, the auxiliary ventilation, that sort of thing. And it was just a really, really nicely equipped car that had been very, very well looked after, but was also reasonably priced. Just £3,500 I paid for this car. And in the last 6 months, we've taken it on trips across the UK. We've been up to the Highlands of Scotland. We've been down to London. We've been into Wales with it. It's just been fantastic. And we've actually done 8,500 miles in this car in 6 months. It's been absolutely fantastic. It's my car that I use to go to work alongside the smart car. And dog wise, well, you can see I've got it full of stuff at the back at the moment. I'm just in the process of moving house, so I'm stealing boxes left, right and centre. And well, you can just see the level of practicality that we're working with here. It's awesome, and because it's old BMW, it's a time where they weren't cutting costs, so everything feels heavily weighted, everything feels solidly built. I mean, just listen to this, solid. Listen to the doors, just a lovely, lovely solid sound, and that feeling runs through to the interior as well. That's been one of my favourite things about this car, is that it just feels like it's made out of granite. Everything you touch, the switches, there's a nice resistance to them all. It's just a lovely place to be. But in terms of running costs, well, with it being a 20-year-old diesel car, it's not cheap. It's not like a Prius to run. For example, the smart car is far cheaper to run than this thing, but for what it is, it's bloody good. I average around 37 mpg driving backwards and forwards to work. That's on fast A roads. I've worked out I've got to cross 4 major roads, so 4 crossroads. So we come to a halt and then go back up to speed again. So it's not the most efficient route. Average 37 doing that. On a run down to Windsor recently for the races, 5 people in the car. We averaged 44 miles per gallon with an average speed on the motorway about 70 miles an hour. So it's very, very good at doing everything you throw at it. The gearbox is perfectly fine. It's a 5-speed GM unit that was used on all the diesels of this generation, and it's perfectly fine. I wouldn't say it's fantastic, but for a 20-year-old car, it's very good. And to be honest, you learn to live with it. the balance of this car is fantastic. Very interesting. Obviously, BMW built the saloon as well as the touring, and for the touring they actually had to redesign the rear suspension to maximise room. Now you just wouldn't get that in modern cars. They build them on the same platform and you'd be compromised. That's most obvious on sort of the hybrids that you see, which rob boot space when they put the batteries in the boots. But this was the time where BMW really took it seriously and built the best car that they could. Tax is £415 a year. Unfortunately, with just no matter what car it seems, tax is shooting up all the time. But to be honest, I think it's worth it. It's just a fabulous car to drive and own. It gets so many compliments when you take it places. People stop and look at it, and I think it's just because you don't see many old BMWs in good condition. People have bought them, they haven't looked after them, and I think sort of after 6 months, that's what I've learned, is that you need to look after these cars and you need to buy one that's been loved. Buying one that's been abused, neglected, is only going to give you more trouble. I mean, we haven't not had issues with this car. The driver's side window has stopped working. Currently, the high level brake light and the tailgate doesn't work because the wire is rubbed through. But they're only small little niggles. Everything else works. Mechanically, it's fantastic. And I really couldn't see myself driving anything else at this moment in time. Mrs. DL, you know, we're looking at starting a family soon. It's going to be the perfect car. It's got Isofix from 20 years ago. I mean, these cars were ahead of their time then, and this keeps them contemporary now. Features like the auxiliary ventilation, the fact that you can set a timer and the car will use a diesel heater to warm itself in the winter, or it will blow cool air to cool itself down in the summer. Just fantastic features that a lot nowadays we take for granted, but 20 years ago, I mean, this thing's got Freeview TV in it. It's just awesome. So yeah, after 6 months, I'm still very happy with this car. It's been fantastic. The E39 market's a strange one. Good ones of these are becoming more and more in demand. Poor ones are cheap, but you get what you pay for. So bear that in mind. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. We've got plenty more videos and adventures to go on with this E39, so I'll see you next video. Cheers.